Hey everybody, welcome back. Hopefully you watched my first segment. If not, that's okay. You can always go back and watch it whenever you have time. Tonight is the night of the full lunar eclipse, and it'll be the worm moon. Each moon is named after something. This full moon is the worm moon. And because it is a full lunar eclipse, it'll take on a reddish hue and be known as a blood worm full moon eclipse. Very dramatic. And it really is. It's going to be in Virgo with the opposing sun in Pisces. So we have a Virgo Pisces alignment that spells chaos in a good way, upheaval in a good way. So don't be afraid of it. Nothing to be afraid of. It just means you would be wise to surrender to it. There's nothing to prepare for. You don't have to do anything special. You can if you want, but you don't have to. You can go out and observe it or stay indoors. Doesn't matter what you do physically as long as it's safe. But if you can emotionally surrender, you're going to be in a much better place tomorrow. So right now, the universe has plans for you. And if you go along with those plans, you will receive everything you want. And if you resist, you'll receive probably some things you don't want, and you'll delay the things you do want. So please, after you hear this, don't pretend to be a victim anymore. You have the power of your own destiny and the power of the universe within you. You are connected to Source. And Source wants you to be happy, wants you to have everything you desire. Why would you dream? Why would you desire? Why would you be passionate about something if it was never going to happen? That's the question that drove me to answers. And the answers are simple, but they're difficult to believe. It's one of those too good to be true kind of feelings. What I felt, say hello to everyone because they're going to be curious about you. This is one of my puppies. Her name is Soleil. She's being shy. She's a little sleepy. She just wants to take a nap. But if you see her cute little ears, that's what's going on here. There you go. You saying hello? She's adorable. And animals are really, really great for getting in touch with what I'm about to talk about. Nature is fantastic. Deep breathing is fantastic. Daydreaming, zoning out, spacing out, relaxing. All great ways of just surrendering to what is. So when you are in nature and you want to kind of get grounded and zone out a little bit and release your thoughts, there's a practice that is known as earthing. If you can take off your shoes and put your feet in the dirt or the sand or the grass, that's ideal. If you want to lay your hands on a tree, that's great. So if it's impractical to be barefoot or you don't feel comfortable being barefoot, at least lay your hands on a tree and connect with the power that's inside of it, pulsing through it, connected to the earth by its roots, breathing so that you can breathe. And it is a symbiotic relationship. The plants, of course, take in CO2 and give us oxygen, and we give them CO2 and we receive their oxygen. So with other trace elements, of course, but the basic symbiotic relationship is there. And when you want to feel grounded, earthing is a great way to get there. During this lunar eclipse, it might be really cool to go outside if you're able to and earth while enjoying the glow of the lunar eclipse. But the bottom line is to let go, to surrender, to relax. Because, like I said, you wouldn't have dreams and desires and wants and passion if it was for nothing. Imagine, and I'm sure you know this feeling, that you would spend your entire life frustrated and never getting what you want. that cannot be what Source wants for you. And it turns out it's not what Source intends for you. It's that you are getting in your own way. You have a belief system that is stopping you from getting what you want. The irony is thick, isn't it? So, step one has to be that you believe that you are in charge of you, of your life, your dreams, your possibilities, that you give yourself permission. You are in charge of saying yes to yourself. If you don't start there, who are you going to ask permission? Source wants it for you. And if you want to call Source your higher power or God, that's fine. We're all talking about the same thing here. But if you understand that you are in charge and you are giving yourself permission, then you don't wait for something outside of you to give you that permission. Because what you truly want is probably very good for you and others. It's probably very helpful and wholesome. And if it isn't, reevaluate that want, reevaluate that desire. If it's hurting you or other people, why would you want that? Think about that deeply before you move forward on anything that you're like, well, I just want it. If it hurts you or someone else, recalibrate, rethink it. But as long as you're not hurting anyone and you're not hurting yourself, and you just desire more abundance, more money, maybe a nicer or bigger house, maybe a house you own instead of rent, maybe a nicer car, maybe a car, any car, there's a lot of things, a better job, to fall in love, to work out family strife. There's a lot of things that people want: to start a business, to be an artist, to go after a lifelong childhood dream. Whatever it is, it's okay. Giving yourself permission is kind of the first step towards it, right? But before that step, you have to believe you're in charge. Otherwise, giving yourself permission is kind of meaningless. So that's one of the things we're talking about tonight. How do you surrender control and surrender to the universe while understanding that you are in charge of yourself, your choices, your dreams, your ambitions? It feels like a duality. So it kind of, it kind of is. If you're starting with this process, 2 years ago, I started formally pursuing this. My whole life, I've been asking questions and getting answers, but I wasn't sure. At different parts of my life, I would manifest things as if by magic. I called it the red carpet treatment. I felt like a VIP. Everything that I wanted just lined up perfectly and rolled out in front of me and was just being given to me. And I know I worked hard for things, but when I would surrender and really allow things to happen, that's when I would see it all just unfold in front of me. But I couldn't figure out, there would be like a moment when it would stop, and then things would get bad and I'd struggle. Maybe I'd lose what I gained. Maybe I'd go backwards. Maybe I'd suffer financial losses or friendship losses. Different things would happen that I would be very confused about. Like, how could it have been so great and now it's so horrible? So over the last 2 years, I started asking better questions and getting better answers. And basically, it's because I gave up on myself. We call it self-sabotage. We call it negative thinking. We have a lot of words for it. But bottom line is, things would start to go right. And then I would believe that they couldn't continue to go right. That I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, that something inevitably had to go wrong and balance out the good. And that was just a belief. That was just my thinking. Once I changed my mind, things are going really well and continuing to go really well. Life still happens, but I don't have to look at it like some horrible thing that happened to me. I don't have to victimize myself over it. I can just say, whoops, it was a blip. And I'm sure there'll be an answer. And if I just relax, take a moment, breathe, the answer will present itself. Everything will be okay. And then it is, because I said so. Even in the midst of drama or chaos or a problem or a challenge, I know I'm okay. And I know everything is exactly the way it should be and everything's going to work out to my advantage. So I just relax. I relax and enjoy, and everything's okay. And that's just how it is. So you're asking, I'm sure, why will it work out for you? How will it work out for you? I don't have those kinds of thoughts. I don't believe that. Well, there you go. There's your answer. It is that simple. And how do you create a new belief? You layer your new belief over the old belief. It's also that simple. So, whatever it is you're believing today, if it's not working for you, try a new belief, try a new perspective, and you're going to have better results. We can do this incrementally. We can do this by layering one small belief over the other until we get to where we want to be. We can do this with meditating and listening to positive things that make us feel uplifted, whether it's movies or streaming or music or YouTube. We can focus on things that focus our attention. We can focus on things that make us feel good. And we can focus on what is leading us down our path of instinct and intuition, so we learn to trust ourselves. So this really is a trust exercise between you and Source. And it's a dance that you will learn. You'll learn the steps, and you'll learn to love it, and you'll learn to relax into it. But at first, I was really bad about it. I would get it right for a few days, maybe even a week, and then I would slip backwards into old belief systems, old habits. And then I would have to become hyper aware of those habits again, and then get back into good habits that I would renew. And if something wasn't working, I'd have to find a new way into that good feeling and a new habit that would remind me to that feeling good is okay. It's my birthright. It's my purpose. It's why everything goes well. It all starts with me feeling good. And then good things happen. So if I wait for a good thing to happen and then I decide I'm going to feel good, I am a victim of arbitrary circumstances. And that can't sustain because life just happens and too many people are pushing against you. And maybe if you're not in a good mood, you can't see that they're actually trying to coordinate with you. So you can't get in sync. You can't get into harmony if you're in a bad mood. It's impossible. You're basically blocking Source from doing what Source wants to do, which is help you and get you to where you want to be and give you everything you desire. But you can't get there if you're in a bad mood. You know, when you're in a bad mood, you don't want to talk to people. You don't want to be around people. You may want to yell at them. You may want to judge them. You may want to be snippy or sarcastic or curt or cold. And that is not enjoyable to be around. So basically, what you're telling the universe is go away. I don't want your help. I want to be alone. And I don't want any human contact. Well, how do you think Source works? Do you really think Source is just going to, I don't know, come down from the sky and hand you things out of a cloud? Source works through other human beings. So if you don't want to talk to other human beings and you don't want to be kind or patient or amiable, we don't have to necessarily be the stereotypical nice, but sometimes it helps. But if you don't want to be open to talking to other people in a pleasant manner and being helpful and cooperative and being in a good mood, how can Source possibly help you? And that was the major belief I had to shift. So it's not okay for me to be in a bad mood. It just isn't. And it's not about pleasing other people. I'm not in a good mood to make someone else happy. I'm in a good mood because that's where I want to be. I want to feel good and I want to help Source bring things to me, bring people to me, bring opportunities to me. So I have to allow that to happen. I have to participate in this. I have to be a part of it. or it can't happen. So tonight, when we're thinking about this full moon eclipse, and we're thinking about how this can cause some wonderful major upheaval, some major things can change for you tonight if you allow them to. It would be helpful if you went back and looked at what you were doing last September, because the first lunar eclipse was in September of 2024. So just kind of think back on what that month was like. Maybe look through your photo album. If you keep a journal, go back and look at that. Maybe emails or text messages. Talk to someone you're close to. Let them jog your memory about what was going on in your life during September of last year. Whatever was happening, you could be finishing a cycle that started last September. You could be starting something new that started in September and then maybe didn't get finished. It didn't come to completion. The seed was planted, but you haven't seen any growth yet. That's what this full lunar eclipse is all about. It's about some cycles coming to a natural conclusion and other things that have been waiting, and the seed has been planted. Now it's ready to grow. So you need to be ready for this in order to make the most of it. So if you take a look at what was happening last year in September and you see some unfinished business, expect it to get cleaned up tonight. And if you see the end of a cycle, you're going to naturally see it. But just be observant. Like I said, don't try to do anything. Don't force anything. The whole point of how the universe works is you allow, and then the universe works its magic. And you get to just sit back and enjoy. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like we have to work hard and we have to sacrifice and we have to be willing to put in blood, sweat, and tears. But when the universe brings everything to you the way you want it and lays it all out in front of you, everything becomes easy. Even work becomes easy. Work becomes enjoyable. You don't even know you're working because you're having too much fun with your coworkers, with your partners, with your friends, with your family, with your spouse, with your children, with your parents. Everyone becomes helpful. Everyone becomes your friend. Everyone's on your side. Everyone is cheering for you and rooting for you, wanting the best for you and giving you everything you ever wanted. Because make no mistake, when you have a job, someone is giving you money to do that job. We have this weird idea that we are earning that money and we're working hard for it. And people get very resentful when they feel their boss owes them something. It's an exchange. You've agreed to be there to do something for that company, for that boss. And then that boss says, thank you. Here's some money. Thank you for your time and effort and your focused attention on what is important to me. And here is some money so you can go do what's important to you. If you don't like what you're doing, don't do it. And don't complain about it. And don't tell me you're a victim and that this is the only choice you have. This is the only thing you can do. And blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to hear it. Especially not you. If you really listen to yourself, as I have listened to myself, you're going to realize that you're kind of sick of hearing that kind of stuff. It's boring. It's silly. It's definitely not productive. And if you just do a simple shift to gratitude and realize that the person or entity that is paying you really appreciates you, you are actually very helpful. They cannot do what they want to do without you doing your part. So if you do it with a grateful heart, if you find the joy in what you do, and you're grateful for the money that's given to you instead of the money you get or the money you earn, all those, feel the resistance in that instead of the money that is given to you. You give your time and energy and focus and attention and joy to whatever it is you're doing. And then that entity gives you money to say thank you. So try that on for size and see if it helps. If it doesn't, you're doing the wrong thing. So just go find something else to do. Lots of paying jobs out there. You don't have to be stuck. And if you feel stuck, just start by thinking, I'm not stuck. I'm free. I have choices, and watch the choices appear. So if you're feeling like you don't have any choices in life, that would be your first belief to layer a new belief over. And just simply saying to yourself, I have choices. I'm free. I can choose whatever I want. This whole big world, this whole huge, immense universe has so much to offer me. I can choose something different. Try that. Start there. See how it feels. So tonight, under this beautiful blood moon, lunar eclipse, maybe you can be open to new things that the universe might have in store for you if you're open to them. So your wildest, craziest, most fun ideas and dreams, allow them. Simply think, you know what? It could happen. I believe it is possible. The universe can bring me everything I need to make that happen. I don't have to make it happen. The universe can make that happen for me. Source can bring me all the support and love that I need to make my dreams come true. If I just allow it. If I just get out of the way. So start with the breathing techniques that we talked about in the previous video, and maybe try to observe what your current belief system is. Listen to yourself. Journal. That helps a lot. Look back at your old writing, your old belief system, and see if it's still serving you. Or if maybe it's time to change your mind. Okay, that's enough for tonight. Hopefully you'll join me again. I'm going to try and do these daily, but life happens, right? So all in perfect divine order. And if I'm here with you, it's meant for you. Just believe that, because I do. And I hope if you try on my belief for a little bit and make it yours, you'll see that everything is meant to make you happy if you will just allow yourself to be happy. Joy is absolutely available for you if you allow it. So until next time, I hope you'd enjoyed this. I hope it helped. Please do whatever you need to do to reach out to me. This will also be appearing on my YouTube channel. And of course, you can leave me comments there. Join me. I'll create a schedule and then we can chat. I would love to hear back from you and interact with you and help you out. Any questions you have are an inspiration to me, and I'm definitely here to help you to get to this place of joy. And I hope we can both be smiling together and having a great time. The party is always more fun with friends. Until next time, be well.